Jack, congratulations on the new extension to the contract. Just what does it mean to you, really, in terms of getting this new deal over the line?
Yeah, obviously, I'm really, really happy to get it done and be locked in for another few years at Sussex, where I said, on the press release, it's home away from home for me now, and my family as well. My parents love coming over. My brothers are quite local to here as well, so I've got a really good base here. I'm loving being a part of Sussex, as a cricket club, and loving being in the south of England and living here as well.
Because it's quite a lengthy extension in cricketing terms, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. 3 full years after the end of the season is, I guess, yeah, it's quite a long time in cricket. It's quite a nice phase for me. It brings me up to being 25. So, but I think it's testament to, the way the club's going and how I feel the club's going, and that I really feel like it's the best place for me to be for a decent chunk of the foreseeable future.
Now, of course, you're back playing because it's been a difficult 18 months for you. How good is it to be back out playing cricket after the injury?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think, the injury, the time you spend away in the gym and rehab and being away from the boys makes you really enjoy it even more when you're back out there. And, the little things like being on the team bus and team meals and, as well as playing, it's just been really good to be back out there competing. And being involved in some really good games has been brilliant as well.
And of course, a lot has changed since you played last. Are you coming back in? There's a new head coach. What's it been like working with Paul Farbrace this season?
Yeah, really, really good. When he got announced, it was, there was that kind of a bit like when Smodge's signing got announced. There was a bit of excitement, and obviously massive pedigree in the game and has lots of experience, and he's brought that all with him, and he's been really, really good to the boys and me especially, really clear in his communication, and that's really the main thing you look for. And we've all felt a real bit of positivity from he come in, and just that freshness can really galvanize a group, and we're sort of heading that way at the moment.
Because he's also tied down a couple of other players coming in. Lamb and Wright are coming in. It feels like he's sort of planning for the future. Do you feel like you're part of a county now that is trying to progress and trying to lay down the foundation for the future?
Yeah, I think, you've even seen with, James Coles has extended his contract, and Tommy Allsop, Tom Haynes. So there's a good group of lads, coming in, obviously, as well, and sort of sees a future with, a lot of the boys here already, and you can see that planning kind of come together. And so over the next few years, hopefully that comes to fruition, and see ourselves in Division 1 and challenging in white ball as well.
You mentioned Smudger, Steve Smith there. What was that experience like, having him at the county, albeit for a very short period of time?
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously a lot of talk about, the prep for him for the Ashes, but I think some people forget the impact it had on us as young cricketers, and people, us trying to make our way in the game. To have somebody like that, I couldn't speak highly enough of him as a guy and a cricketer. He came in, and there was no kind of big dog about him. He got involved with the crack with the lads, and was very approachable, always open to talking about how he went about stuff, and was willing to help people as well. Like, he grabbed the sidearm at practice, and he just really got stuck in. So I think the impact he had in his 3 games was massive, and he's been really good. He stayed in touch with a few of the boys, and have to say, yeah, it was class. Just a real aura having him around the place. Someone who's done that much in the game. It was really, really exciting few weeks.
Well, it's certainly been lively, him up against Ollie Robinson in the Ashes so far. But what about Sussex and their summer so far? I mean, how would you describe how things have gone for the county? Obviously at the T20, but progressing okay in the county championship.
Yeah, I think it's a funny one that if you'd offered us this, with how we've been last year and the last couple of years, I think where we sit in the table is obviously a massive positive, to be in around the fight for promotion. But we do look at a few of the games, and there's been some opportunities missed probably to really clamp down on games and really take control and go on and win a couple more. And that's probably been the message for us, over this first block of games, that we've done some really good things, but there's times where we have let commanding positions slip and maybe not capitalise when we should have. So I think that'll really be the focus, going into the last 6 games of the season, that if we get ourselves in good positions to win games, that we really try and close it out. But I'd say, it's been a much more positive team to be involved in terms of how results are going, and how we're, if we haven't won games, we've been driving games forward and getting good sort of winning draws. So no, it's been really good.
And still a lot to play for. Obviously, Cheshire Pajara comes back, but McAndrew and Shipley have done a job as well to keep you in contention. What have you got to do over the next? Well, it really is 3 months to try and really push for that promotion back to Division 1.
Yeah, I think we have to. Tom also have spoken about it since he's come in as captain. Is enjoy, being up at this end of the table, and enjoy, the process of trying to get promoted and playing in games that matter, because at times in the last few years we got to this stage of the season and you're playing games knowing that you're not going to get promoted and you're out of the running. So it's trying to enjoy that challenge and that new feeling, and we sort of hope that galvanizes. And we just need to keep doing what we have been doing. We have a lot of talented players, a lot of ability. So we know we have enough in our team to hopefully go and get promoted. So it's just trying to stick to that goal, and hopefully by the end of the season, we achieve that.
What about your game in terms of your performances and the work that you've been doing?
Yeah, I think this year it's been a little bit stop-start with my bowling. I've bowled well some games, and some games I've definitely not bowled as well as I've liked. It's been good to contribute with the bat a bit more and show that side of my game as well. But I think there's definitely areas I could improve on, and things that I've probably showed a bit of rustiness at times this year with the ball. But yeah, I just want to keep kicking on and keep trying to bowl as well as I can, and help contribute to victories, if that's not with 5 for 50, but however way I can contribute to a winning team. Because the best feeling of the year was Durham at home, first game of the season, getting over the line and winning with a bunch of mates. So yeah, whatever I can do over the next couple of months to hopefully try and win some more games will be massive.
I mean, have you sought out advice from anyone in particular, or is anybody helping you along the way in terms of trying to develop your game, or maybe look at different aspects of it?
Yeah, we've got a really, really good coaching group, with Farby leading that, and Graham Flowers, he's been amazing the last 2 years. Even say Smudge, when he was over, did a little bit of stuff with him and made a couple of tweaks from watching his game. So we have a really good group, and everyone's kind of open to helping each other. Like James Coles, he spent a couple of months in Sri Lanka in the winter, and I've sort of picked his brains a little bit on things he learned out there. So it's a really good open group, and a group where people are willing to learn off each other and ask each other how to improve.
And just finally, I mean, obviously beyond the end of this summer, there's opportunities. What are you looking to do? Is there a plan, or does it very much dependent on how well you get on in the next couple of months in terms of what your projected time over that winter might be?
Yeah, I think definitely trying not to look too far ahead, and I think if we get to the end of the year and Sussex have been promoted, I'll hopefully have played a decent part in that, and the rest will look after itself. But in 2021, I'd sort of started the season well, and maybe at times looked, was thinking ahead, and was there a Lions tour or stuff like that. So I think the important thing for me is to, turn up tomorrow and bowl as well as I can, and get my drills done, and keep myself in nice shape to hopefully win some games and get us promoted by the end of the season. And yeah, the rest will hopefully look after itself, whatever that might be.
Yeah, and of course you're back in action Monday, I think it is. Important to keep the momentum going in the Red Bull game. Yeah,
massively. This is a big game. Derby are sort of sitting in mid-table as well, so they scored a lot of runs in their last game, so be a decent challenge. But there's been a few good days training. A few boys have had a bit of a rest, and hopefully can hit the ground running on Monday and try and set up another win.
How are the pitches suiting you, Jack? I mean, like, do you have discussions about that sort of thing, or do you just sort of work with what you've got, and it varies, I guess, from square to square wherever you go, but particularly at Hove, I'm thinking, really.
Yeah, I guess, you know, Hove probably there's not been a massive amount of spin this year. Know whether that's up to me not putting enough on the ball, I'm not sure, but no, it's 22 yards long and there's 3 stumps at each end, so whatever if you put the ball in the right place for long enough with, you know, good energy on it, you usually get your reward. So if it turns sideways, it would be brilliant for me, but you know, whatever's there, I'll try and do my best with whatever's laid out in front of me.